Let's get this started. Agreed. Yo, everybody can just hear me, so I don't know why the fuck I'm using the host microphone. But welcome to Unpoetry, where the attitude always starts poorly and then goes back around. So sorry, I'm just a little anxious as usual, and I know all of you, so it feels dumb to have the host microphone. I know like 90% of you in this room, so the host microphone is idiotic at best. But thanks for being here. I appreciate the support. Sorry for the bad attitude. I'll come up with a better Unpoetry intro later. But for now, let's just get started. There's a lot of empty chairs. That's okay. Look at the empty chair next to you and say, "I wish you could have been here." That's great.
Bring it from the east and the south up to us. This is Dwayne McGinnis, After the Death of an Elder Clallam. I'm going to read 3 of these and then 1 new from me. Oh, by the way, you should all know how to pronounce the name of your city. It's Seattle. So if you would do me the favor, we'll do that 4 times because that's native tradition. Seattle.
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 2 more times. Seattle.
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 Thank you very much. I really appreciate that because they took the land from the Duduapsh And then they took the name of their elder, Siak, and then they made it sanitized, right? Siak.
Yeah.
And they turned it into whatever this is. So maybe if we bring it back, we can bring it back and have the salmon through the Dutuash River again. So this is elegy for Chief Siak. 1786 to 1866. Siak, the white man will never be alone. Let him be just and deal kindly with my people, for the dead are not powerless. Use glasses to it. There we go. Compromised by sorrow, you stand at the rim of the diminishing forest, your face leathered by salt winds from the sound inlets, the sacred camas inside of your fathers, because the guardian spirits coot like pipers of the white man's flood from the eastern seaboard. You hear death rattle like wings in the fire of the black sun. The waves of ships, covered wagons, broke your arrows, pierced your shield, silenced your spirit like a gold storm. Yet, as if an echo from the past, your living family of tribes slowly regain a part of their soil and turn your people's grief to a small joy. Like the sight of a piper standing, the lost shadow of the reed. Elegy for Chief Siak, 1786, 1866. McGinnis. Chief Joseph, Nez Perce. Never reaching the promised land, the fugitive chief sits in a corner of the prison car, chained to his warriors, a featherless hawk, an exile. Seeing out the window, geese rising like lost moons, he knows more men died by snow blizzard than by cavalry shot. Still his father's dream of blue pines with black elk flashes in eyes that chase the raven, who croaks like a mocking cricket, the old chief. Fought to break the cycle of cold weather and disease, his people swallowed and breathed in the unfamiliar land. This train rattles like dirt in his teeth, straw in his eyes. Looking down into his prayer beads, he sees the future, a spiral of red forest dust that leaves his bones on the track, his soul in the whistle. McGinnis. And then the last one. You sat with a bottle of beer in one hand and a steaming mussel in the other, chanting in the summer evening the story of Quate, the changer. Your grandchildren huddled, awed by your heavy lumbered frame and demonic shadow painted in the sand by fire. When your laughter cracked in pine logs that smelled of kelp and seaweed, we saw the story surface like the whale. 12 salmon harvests passed. 12 salmon harvests have passed since I last saw fishnets hanging through winter across the common stream. What snow-deep afternoon was it when you pantomimed the legend of Black Elk, who is caught only in dreams, and the Chinook salmon held in a net? 12 salmon harvests have passed since I last saw fishnets hanging through winter across the common stream. What snow-deep afternoon was it when you pantomimed the legend of Black Elk, who is caught only in dreams, and the Chinook salmon held in a net? And because of his bronze eyes and flapping defiance, you threw him to the sea. One morning, after we threw feast bones back to the herring people, we heard you shout down the ravens, falling on a heap of crab shells. Today, forest flowers and vines cover your home, and the animals of stone you carved to your front door, mere dreams of your children's children. What are blue forests without you, granduncle? How long before the village grew solemn as ashes did you begin to die? Was it on the reservation? Now your sons lie stripped down to their hides, charred saplings of cedar, old roots, and soil of many seasons. In the sunset of Lone Hawk, I will talk to Mount Topish, as my granduncle did before they returned him to oyster shells and sand. Salted homes for crabs and fish, I see him as he waved to his grandchildren in the amber stone silence, watching salmon fin dark rapids to spawning beds in Ho-Had-Hun creeks. Under thick windows of fern, he closed his eyes to the light of Soar Island. Of the whitest mountain near his father's grave, he listened to Pacific seeds round tribute to villages of fishermen and stone cutters, as brother to the chickadee and wolf. Rain-soaked and restless, I turned to the forest of Clallam in the honor of my great-uncle, Joseph Patsy, elder to the hawk. Dwayne McGillis, after the death of an elder Clallam. Skylar Reed. Here we are, the children witness making. Poem, April 16, 2024, Westlake Union, Seattle. Here we are, the children witness making. Mountains moving, patience breaking. Sandcastle empires falling into tidal wells, ripping rocks across the bay of a panoramic love, ticking like atomic clocks. Mavericks on mavericks on mavericks, breaking our backs. An ocean again, backs are breaking. Our backs, an ocean again, breaking. Backs, an ocean again, breaking. Our backs, an ocean, breaking open wave forever within you. Forever. Forever, forever. Forever, forever, pulling away from its violent arms. There are fathoms in our midst. Imperial weights and empirical measures. In depths our charges, we wait on wood knocks. Off the coast, in the west, to the furthest reach. How come freedom? How come the freedom equal? This means necessary. This means necessary, equal, the freedom, equal, necessary. This means to ride the wave or to forever be lost at sea. Here we are, the children of tidal shells. Here we are, witness making, high tides calling. Here we are, the children of tidal shores, ever waiting for this moon anew to move us forward. Here we come, a rising tide. Here we come, every surf, every sail. Here we come, a rising tide, ever waiting for this move anew to move us forward. Witness making, high tides calling. Here we are, the children of tidal shores, to ride the wave or forever be lost at sea. This freedom, equal, this means necessary. How come freedom to the furthest reach, ever waiting for this move to call us and move us forward. Here we come, a rising tide. Here we come, every surf, every sail. Here we come. Freedom.
Woo!
Yeah.
Marshmallows. I don't know if there's going to be enough. I was just looking at them before I left, and I was thinking about just the association I have with the marshmallow tests that I think many of you are familiar with, and just like ideas of, I don't know, there's just such judgment in that test. And I thought, like, what if, I don't know, what if we could be unrestrained and expressive with our marshmallows? So this is going to open with an apology, and you are all welcome to throw the marshmallows. I'm trying to not apologize, and maybe this will help. Or if there's like a part or a line that you don't like, or something that could use work, feel free to throw the marshmallow, or just eat it. That's fine too. They're pretty old. But you can do what you want. That's your freedom.
You don't have any marshmallows, though.
Oh, you're right. I don't. I guess I wonder where to go. Maybe I'm throwing at myself. Who knows? Okay. Let's read. Let's reading. Yes. Okay. Dear friend, it's always a little uncomfortable to begin with an apology, And that's especially true now, given that your last request was that we vanquish all apologies from our correspondence. But it would feel disingenuous to ignore the passage of time since your last message. I wonder if part of what it means to be a writer is to be in tune with the particular silences of having not written. Some days it feels more like living with a parasite who feeds off of the not writing, which could be seen as a passive form of care. But that old advice comes to mind: kill your darlings. I might reinterpret it as let yourself be hurt by the process. On the subject of writing advice, what comes to mind when you are asked to write for a particular audience? Does that not feel like a redundancy to you? Is there not always an absent other in mind? I think now of the mythical origins of painting that Pliny the Elder discloses in his Natural History. Supposedly, in a town or village somewhere, there was a woman, and yes, she was in love, and on the evening her beloved was to go to war, she traced his shadow in the candlelight, prematurely marking his absence. I wonder if all writing is some version of this, apostrophe in the making. I heard a poet say recently that a good plot hides its secrets well, that it is also a place where the body goes to rest. I like this idea of plot as burial ground, as land that holds our truest, unvarnished expression. Thank you! Thank you!
Piano. I tried to get the keys.
I write this now as I'm driving on I-5, my computer having died on the ferry on the way to the poetry reading. It is raining now, hard. Is this a bad idea? Absolutely. Is it worth dying for poetry? Not in this case. But I wonder, if I were to go today, this way, if these words or some other words would follow me into the next bardo or afterlife, if they would ring out like chords, grow quiet, until that familiar silence returned, having not written since I died. But going back to the plot. Good job.
Nothing but that.
But going back to the plot, or idea of plot, what do you think we'd find if we excavated any particular site, disrespectful as it might be? If I had to make some kind of guess, it would be the remnants of desire, whatever that might mean to that particular speaker or narrator. I've been following this word back to its alleged Latinate root, Decitus, of star or constellation. As with writing, desire also takes the shape of absence. It doesn't like much exposure, and if done artfully, it too hides its secrets well. There's always more to say, but I'm just about at my destination. Write soon. It's always good to hear you. Much love.
Dibs on the dirty mushroom.
ESRW.
Wow.
ESRW, everybody.
As on carpet as it is in heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the tray. You can just toss it.
Yeah, last time I did one, I decided to sit, and now I'm like, that's what I like to do.
It's a good move.
This feels really low, though. Sorry, I was caught off guard. Give me 1 second. Some new ones. I've been trying to write more like nature adjacent. I feel like I try really hard to write other types of things, and I like overlook simple topics that would probably do me good to try and write about. So this one's called Hill-Spun Blue. Crushed velvet glass. Let me start over because I was wrong. Crushed velvet grass, up from soil and at a humble slope. And in that easy bend, caught in heat, shimmers the faint ghost of hill-spun blue. In fields, at time, and as if the scales of a freshly pulled fish, or as if the rainbow spill in oil pools, gleams that hill-spun blue patch, dancing with wind, the gale, and shine, dancing. Another nature one. This one's called Ode to High Hour. Does anybody else write odes very often? Yeah. Perfection in motion. The kissing gust or a blitz of welcomed wind. Cool but still baking. The gold only touching some of your solid-proofed dough. Prepared by singing sighs whole and long. Generated from the chambers of a heavy heart. The stone stacks of some muscular pipe organ, blowing tubular taut, pumping out full-bodied singing sighs. I could go so willingly if what it meant was at the highest hour, I could, from billions, pick a favored shadow. One, the blackest, one which cuts the sun well, and that was required, and all that was required of me was to pick it and simply melt into its gray. Let's see. No, this one I like. Okay, I'm also going to do interactive shit. Okay, so I'm going to read this one once and I'm going to read it again, but we'll get there. So this one's called Splay. Today is a day for things which take a sleep's worth of time to enjoy, things that rock and sway. A wish for lame and limp-limbed awakenings, ones gilded in heat and filled with writhed sheets, slopes of linens, mounds, and white heaths, that pleasure only achieved by attempting to ball a fist after a prosperous rest. Month-fettered light comes crawling in, housing soft, no peep, no din, beams deadlocked by paneled shapes, all the while sleep-worn eyes daze. The ease with which you stay under warmth, if only in attempts to stretch out completely into infinity and feel your muscles splay open in the best possible way. I'm gonna read that one again because somebody I was talking to told me, "Oh, your stuff sounds so good spoken," and I was like, I really disagree because the way that I write it is flipping between prose and verse, and so I'm like curious to know if you can tell when that happens. Yeah, so I'm gonna read it again. Somebody tell me when they can tell if I've switched. Today is a day for things which take a sleep's worth of time to enjoy, things that rock and sway, a wish for lame and limp-limbed awakenings, ones gilded in heat and filled with writhed sheets, slopes of linen, mounds of white heath, that pleasure only achieved by attempting to ball a fist after a prosperous rest. Month-fettered lights come crawling in, housing soft, no peep, no din, beams deadlocked by paneled shapes, all the while sleep-worn eyes daze. The ease with which you stay under warmth, if only in attempts to stretch out completely into infinity and feel your muscles splay open in the best possible way. Nothing?
The
pleasure
couplet
line?
in there.
The pleasure?
The pleasure.
There's some couplets in
They
there.
end with prose and then
The end with prose.
But before that there was like a quatrain with like a tetrameter.
Yes. Cool. So it's kind of, you can kind of tell.
Good words.
I'm just like curious to know how it comes across because, yeah, interesting. Thank you for indulging me. That was kind of silly, but I liked
It
it.
was nice to hear it a second time, yeah.
Thank you.
Let's read it again.
Do it again.
One time.
Let's
You should do it again.
Yeah, you should.
go. One more.
Yeah.
Today is a day for things which take a sleep's worth of time to enjoy, things that rock and sway, a wish for lame and limp-limbed awakenings, ones gilded in heat and with writhed sheets, slopes of linen, mounds of white heath, that pleasure only achieved by attempting to ball a fist after a prosperous rest. Muntin-fettered lights come crawling in, housing soft, no peep, no din, beams deadlocked by paneled shapes, all the while sleep-worn eyes gaze. The ease with which you stay under warmth, if only in attempts to stretch out completely into infinity and feel your muscles splay open in the best possible way.
Lacan with a name.
This one right here is my favorite.
So. Can you see what end you like?
Welcome everyone to Poésie du Rien, a restaurant I made up and can't pronounce. I'll be your waiter and poet this evening. My name is Kevin Bocek, or Kevin Bocek. Take a moment to peruse the menu and just let me know if anyone would like to order. And if I didn't give you one,
Okay,
sorry.
but first you'll have to unlock your device.
This is a soft opening of the restaurant. So we have technical difficulties. I hope you're all understanding. Technical difficulties means I left my book at home and I have to use my phone, but I'm going to pretend I'm not.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay, but your device needs to be unlocked for that.
That's the first poem. Okay, would anyone like to make an order?
I'm ready to order.
Yeah, what'd you like?
Can I get the stuff and movement?
Yeah, of course.
But can I get that backwards?
Of course, yeah. Now, would you like each line to be read in backwards order, so each line is backwards, or do you like the lines to be read forwards but backwards?
Which way do you like it?
I suppose I would usually go for the lines forward but read backwards, but they're both
Is that the
fine
way that most
vintages.
people get it?
Yeah. Well, you're the first person to order in the history of this restaurant. So were you not listening when I told you it was a new restaurant?
I trust your discretion.
I like stuffing, not stuffing. Oh wait, star stuff, the stuff of legends, ghosts and stuff, sweating the small stuff, the right stuff, kitchen stuff, rough stuff, sweet stuff, hot stuff, all stuff. Stuff, ugh, I hate stuff. Do someday, branded in boxes with the words to into unused things that I now must move, that even the cash gifts become transmuted, the eternal grift of gifts so potent, gifted gifts because I gifted gifts, growing with time and stress, seemingly self-forming mindless masses, the stuff, oh, the stuff. Place as I pack them and move to a new, my body for over a year and who is now controlling, deep in an unopened drawer, and then kept in my stuff sequestered, and hid them in my stuff, lotion, and who the fuck amassed 23 bottles of, security deposits or for anything, and why do I even still hope for my landlords forever? Will I be forced to bend to the whims of little gifts of existential dread, a forced exit packaged with numerous year. God, moving sucks, and it seems to come over and over. Oh wait, moving. I hate moving. All moves, making moves, static moves, jazzercise moves, being moved, perhaps by a nice book or film. Symphonic movements, political movements, often, bowel movements, movies, power moves, dance moves, all movement. I like movement.
Yes, please. I would like the ritual and flame, and little extra emotion with that, please.
And what emotion would you like gendered on American?
I think sadness.
Very good. as the story flowed out of you, I grabbed its tail like a kite. Anchored to you but still blowing through time, back to the first stories, told by muddy bodies reveling in the warmth and food provided by a fire only slightly warmer than they were. I watched as outlandish fantasy burst from your newfound secure reality, agape as your stories spread like neurons gently synapsing one you still hadn't stopped telling. Reaching out to touch both at once, you pulled me in an effortless twist that let the frostbite creep in, surrounded by unwarmable concrete and comfort. And I fell backwards towards modernity, flying in stunned silence, guided by your words, wrapped in laughter. I shivered, suddenly unable to focus on anything other than oozing mortality, until you grabbed my hand, still weaving your stories into mine. You drew a single spark in warm ash that embedded in human skin. I touched your hand to mine and then back to yours, in relieved bewilderment as you say, "Here's our little campfire." Suddenly, I smell smoldering pines and see licks of flame growing to illuminate huddled primordial shadows, joining us in ancient rituals like moving away from the smoke, blowing into our two delicate lungs. Thank you. Anyone else want to order anything? Yes?
I would love an apology to cows.
Yes.
And would love the epic simile
No, of course.
with that. I don't know if this is possible, but could you leave the cows out of this dish? Oh.
That would be challenging. Does it help if I tell you that I'm vegan and this is an ode to the cows? Or would you like them replaced with a different animal? Or a different anything? Any noun?
No, I think it would just seem what's possible.
Just like them left out?
Let's go with the cows.
Okay.
Keep the cows in.
But an epic similar metaphor, and I'll do my best to have that one not involve cows. An apology to the cows who watched me have a tantrum on the side of a dusty highway. Let's start by giving you, the cows, some context. I was driving from Seattle to Los Angeles to adopt a puppy. But I didn't have him yet. It was just me, the car, and British comedians explaining food. My partner was looking for housing at the time, and Seattle has first come, first served policy for applications. So whoever fills out an application first gets the place. We had been house hunting for months, and we had been burned by this before. The application came while I was driving, so I took the first exit and the first pullout on the first exit to fill it out. The pullout was across from you. Hundreds of you. Cows. Crammed into a feedlot. The smell was reminiscent of feces and death, yet somehow something new entirely. The sun was scorching, but I don't need to tell you that. The internet coverage at your feedlot fucking sucks. I might need to tell you that. I just want to live in a nice, weird apartment with my nice future puppy in a nice area close to my nice community and full of our nice, if bizarre, knickknacks and our nice friends. I felt like I deserved nice things. So when over the course of 45 minutes, the application wouldn't go in, like the Loch Ness Monster hiding beneath the loch in Scotland for years and years, waiting for just a tiny glimpse, someone to glimpse the neck rising above the Scottish moors and fog, only to plunge back into the depths, leaving us devoid of its beauty. When that happened, over and over again, and the car heated up, and the system kept booting me out, I was convinced that I was the reason we wouldn't get this apartment, and that my puppy adoption would fall through, and the whole time you, the cows, stared at me, unwavering but uninterested, Bodies crammed into sparse shade, brown, black, and white mixed together in random splotches, like if we zoomed out, your stagnant forms would form a caged cow made up of twisted bovine bodies. And all of that mounted, and I lost control. So you watched me scream, crying, shiver, and quake about internet, the future, and freedom, and all the nice things I wanted, rending what is left of my hair, banging my head with my fist until I saw white, and even screaming at you, why aren't we free? What do you want? Can't you stop staring and help? It wasn't fair to yell at you, I just really wanted nice things. Anyway, I've made this a lot about me so far, but I felt like I was stuck in what was an otherworldly highway exit portal designed to break me. What broke me most of all was having to be by you, breathing in your suffering and outputting it as my own. Humans really like to control you, but not just your bodies. We make your entire existence, your ancestry, your souls. The very image of you exists for us to use on each other. Like I looked at the Google Maps for the feedlot later, in the middle of nowhere in California. It's Harris Feeding Company. It has 1.7 stars, 332 reviews. A healthy comment war will rage there, probably forever, back and forth about how disgusting your lives are, or maybe you are actually doing great and people need to calm down, or maybe you're just too close to the highway and too many people get confronted with the reality of the world that should actually stay hidden. No one there will make your lives better or worse, but they might make themselves feel better about it. There are lots of pictures of you online, but I don't think I can look at them. But I do promise I'll drive by you again. I'll bring you some nice things and throw them over the fence. So I'm sorry I screamed at you and wrote a really long apology that isn't really about you. I was throwing a tantrum on a dusty pullout for fear that I wouldn't have a space to call my own. Your lives are worth living, but more, I'm really deeply sorry you're there. You deserve to roam and eat grass, have babies and give them your milk, see humans being kind to themselves and to you, to sleep far away from the thunderous highways and buzzing fences. I don't know how to help you get those things, but I hope you do. And I know writing this is still about me, but I can't stop thinking about you, and maybe this will help me sleep. I'm sorry, I love you, you deserve nice things.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Isn't it weird how strangers can look like friends, and friends can look like strangers? That's what I've been thinking about. It'll get you. All right, I really need to unsubscribe to Zillow.
Oh my God.
It's like, yeah, I mean, you know, pertaining to looking for houses. Recipient inbox full. Your message couldn't be delivered. Okay. How many Taylor Swift fans do we have out there tonight? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. And that's too bad.
Do it anyway.
Just in case.
Oh, I was going to read a Joan Didion quote about superficiality in light of the mainstream making poetry and suffering into a simulation. But I think I'm just going to start with this first poem. It's an icebreaker. I'll admit it's an unlikely take on the breakthrough of spring. It's called Icebreaker. Bittersweet is the rebirth of color which blinds. Putrid yellow petals. How untimely your arrival, as the freshly dead among us host our doubles, doubled over. You who like a perfect dream beckoned, show us God and the devil in bed together. beauty and its odd vice of torturing the living. Today I'd rather look at dead flowers, who at least haunt without distortion. Spring can be sad sometimes. I'm warming up to it though. Sorry, y'all. It's been a weird 3 months.
Usually it is.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding. All right. This one's called, is there a plural for narcissus? You just say narcissi? It's kind of weird, right?
Narcissi rocks.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sounds kind of like a dinosaur, right?
Narcissi. That's how he died? Narcissi.
The ferry cuts through the dense blue like butter off the mainland. Leaves behind the elements. Buildings which balk in midair like bars of an equalizing system. Oh yeah. It is autumn. It was autumn. But it runs late. Only revealing itself when the nights go stark and the sky clear as lead. It puts on appearances, undressing itself under night's bowl while turning barefoot, cold. Propinquity as we near each other. I'm trying to get the lines right. You are also somewhere on this boat, held under the same cast of suspicion, the same covalence that plagues an unbearable desire. Or is it insecurity, control? Instead, the sun splays the seats, supple leather, while passengers pose like seals on jacket feathers. The occasional stray duck spun in revolutions from the boat's wake as smoke suffuses the horizon. Forest fires from both sides come between us. The undulations mere conjecture.
Favorite.
All right. Suddenly, I don't want to read any of these. Okay. Yeah! In the mouth, in the mouth. Who's got one? I know somebody has one. Nobody?
Nobody gave me one.
Okay. What I saw on a clear day. We stand outside the metaphor as if it will take us in, cover us, move us from the here of what we cannot see. To have is to be carried, held. The nearly invisible willing the constant split of things. The self-swerving, turning into a relation with the unruly. The remote seal that moves along many lines. A destined motive eking out its last stop. You lean into the unseeable wind, where desire seeks its return by hastening the murmurs of occlusion. A close distance only revealed in fire. The engine which is the heart humming, shifting, jumping, wanting to speak to the future of speech. Instead, aphasia fattens us with pleasure, drums out the calculus of intention, as if by a surveying of labyrinths or cliffs. What I saw then on a clear day, a blur, gold cells shimmering upon the umber of autumn, and the death of green on the body of unbright lawns. The gray path of winter winding like a leather belt broken in by care, or what it means to be inside time. where subtle generations combine in gutters full of a deep and early secret, crystallized suddenly attaching themselves as if breath were enough to wet the air in this omega of lost seasons. What I saw then, on a clear day, was the metaphor of the present. My trust in the hands of strangers. My life is poignant and delicate as lace. Ending needs work there, if anybody has any suggestions. So self-serious, my God. Yeah. All right. This is called The Love Affair, abridged. I don't know about this old life. Archaic desire, so perfectly wasteful. I am unsure where to put it. So I burn some color, bright, awkwardly potent, like a virgin in a swimsuit. Bruising like cumulus clouds that fill the careful canal of your neck. I drink you, but leave a little. Glass flowers and rose water. The sea in my ear. Your arm or mine. We lie like this for a little while. Oh my God.